Alright, what's good, everybody? Today we're diving deep, and I mean deep, into one of the biggest, messiest, and most iconic rivalries in modern hip-hop history. We're talking about the Queen versus the Trap Selena. It's Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. Now, before we get into the tea, the shade, and the flying shoes, let's set the stage. For a long time, Nicki Minaj was the undisputed queen of rap. She kicked down doors, broke records, and sat comfortably on the throne for nearly a decade. Then, out of nowhere, this firecracker from the Bronx, fresh off reality TV, drops Bodak Yellow. Cardi B wasn't just a new artist, she was a phenomenon. And you know what they say, there can only be one queen on the chessboard. So, how did we go from subtle shade to a full-blown Fashion Week showdown? Let's break it down track by track, tweet by tweet. It all started subtly, like most beefs do. Fans started pitting them against each other from the jump, but both artists publicly denied any issues. They even appeared together on the Migos track Motorsport in 2017. Seems like a united front, right? Wrong. The drama started with that very song. Fans noticed Nicki's verse seemed to throw some subliminal shots. Then, in an interview, Cardi suggested Nicki changed her verse. Nicki felt like Cardi wasn't showing her the proper respect or gratitude. She went on her own radio show, Queen Radio, and said she felt ambushed and painted as the bad guy. This was the first real crack in the foundation. It wasn't just fan speculation anymore. The artists themselves were acknowledging the tension. This motorsport incident was the spark that lit the fuse. Nicki felt Cardi was ungrateful, and Cardi felt Nicki was trying to play games behind the scenes. It was the classic case of the veteran feeling threatened by the rookie, and the rookie feeling like the veteran wouldn't give her a fair shot. The tension simmered for a few months, with little jabs here and there. Cardi was on a rocket ship to stardom, dropping her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, which went on to win a Grammy. Nicki, on the other hand, was prepping her album, Queen. The competition was heating up. Every chart position, every brand deal, every magazine cover became a battleground for their respective fan bases. The Barbs and the Barty Gang. Then came the 2018 Met Gala. A video surfaced showing Cardi and Nicki having what looked like a civil conversation. People thought, okay, maybe the beef is squashed. Cardi even said in an interview they talked it out and it was all good. But in the world of celebrity feuds, a ceasefire is often just a chance to reload. The peace didn't last long. Under the surface, things were still bubbling. The no-feature narrative was a big part of it. Cardi's album was a massive success without a Nicki feature, which was a huge statement. It proved she could stand on her own 2 feet, which only intensified the rivalry. And then, New York Fashion Week, September 2018, the Harper's Bazaar Icons Party. This is the moment the beef went from lyrical jabs and shady interviews to physical confrontation. Accounts vary, but the gist is this. Cardi approached Nicki's table, words were exchanged, and things escalated fast. Security got involved, and Cardi was seen leaving the party with a huge knot on her forehead, missing a shoe. That's right, she allegedly threw her red heel in Nicki's direction. It was absolute chaos. The incident went viral instantly. Paparazzi photos of Cardi's lump and her walking out with one shoe became a meme. This wasn't just a rap beef anymore. This was a mainstream primetime news event. It was the celebrity feud equivalent of a pay-per-view fight, and everyone had a ringside seat, whether they wanted one or not. The image of that shoe flying through the air at a high fashion event is burned into pop culture history forever. Immediately after the incident, Cardi took to Instagram with a long, fiery post. She didn't name Nicki, but it was clear who she was talking to. She wrote, "I've let a lot of S***, T-slide. I let you sneak diss me. I let you lie on me, ... But she said the final straw was comments made about her skills as a mother and about her newborn daughter, Culture. That was the line in the sand. For Cardi, you could talk about her music, her past, her career, but bringing her child into it was unforgivable. This post humanized the beef for a lot of people. It showed that behind the celebrity and the drama, there was a new mother fiercely protecting her family. It was a raw, emotional, and very public declaration of war. She basically laid out her entire case for why she went after Nicki. And it resonated with a lot of her fans who saw it as her standing up for herself and her baby. A few days later, Nicki Minaj dedicated an entire episode of Queen Radio to the incident. And she held nothing back. She denied ever speaking on Cardi's child, calling the accusation a lie. She mocked Cardi, calling her disgusting and claiming the whole thing was embarrassing. Nicki painted Cardi as unhinged and desperate for attention. She went on to leak some alleged details about their industry issues, claiming other artists had told her they didn't want to work with Cardi. It was a masterclass in controlling the narrative. Nicki used her platform to tell her side of the story, uninterrupted, directly to her millions of fans. She played audio clips, she laughed, she raged. It was compelling radio, and it added so many more layers of she said to the drama. The Barbs were energized, defending their queen, while the Bardi gang stood firmly behind Cardi. The internet was completely divided. After the Queen Radio broadcast, the beef reached a fever pitch. It felt like every day there was a new development. Cardi's sister, Hennessy Carolina, got involved, posting alleged texts and accusing Nicki of leaking Cardi's phone number to fan pages, leading to threats. Nicki's fans, the Barbs, went into overdrive, digging up old videos and dissecting every lyric. Cardi's fans, the Bardi gang, did the same. It was a full-scale digital war. Every post was a potential diss. Every like was an alliance. Other celebrities were forced to pick sides or at least try to stay neutral, which was almost impossible. Rappers like 50 Cent, The Game, and Lil Yachty all weighed in. The beef had taken on a life of its own, far beyond the two women at the center of it. It was a cultural moment, dominating blogs, social media feeds, and group chats for weeks on end. The whole music industry seemed to be holding its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The constant back and forth was clearly taking a toll on both of them. The negativity was everywhere. Finally, in late October 2018, it seemed like they both reached a breaking point. Cardi B posted a series of videos on Instagram, again, directly addressing Nicki's claims from Point by Point. She showed receipts, challenged Nicki to take a lie detector test, and passionately defended herself. It was intense. But then something shifted. Shortly after Cardi's video storm, Nicki tweeted something that shocked everyone. She wrote, "Okay, you guys, let's focus on positive things only from here on out. We're all so blessed. I know this stuff is entertaining and funny to a lot of people, but I won. To be discussing this nonsense anymore." Cardi screenshotted the tweet and posted it on her own Instagram, agreeing. She wrote, "Nicki Minaj, alright then, let's keep it positive and keep it pushing." And just like that, they called a truce. It was an abrupt end to a chaotic month. So, where do things stand now? Since the 2018 truce, things have been quiet, almost too quiet. There have been no public confrontations, no direct diss tracks, no shady Instagram posts. They seem to be coexisting peacefully, at least on the surface. They've both continued to have massive success. Nicki got married, had a baby, and continues to drop hit records. Cardi has expanded her empire with huge brand partnerships, movie roles, and chart-topping singles. It seems like they've moved on, focusing on their careers and families. But the question remains, is the beef really over, or is it just dormant? In hip-hop, you never know. A single lyric, a single interview could reignite the whole thing. The fan bases are still loyal to their respective queens, and the comparisons will likely never stop. It's a fragile piece, and one that the world is constantly watching. Looking back, the Cardi versus Nicki beef was more than just a catfight. It was a complex story about competition, respect, motherhood, and the pressures of being a woman at the top of a male-dominated industry. Was Nicki the veteran protecting her spot? Was Cardi the ambitious newcomer who refused to bow down? The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Both women are incredibly talented, driven, and have contributed so much to the culture. Their rivalry, for better or worse, defined an era of hip-hop and gave us some of the most dramatic, entertaining, and unforgettable moments in recent memory. It showed the power of social media to fuel a feud and the power of two strong women to eventually decide to rise above it. So, what do you guys think? Whose side were you on? Was it all a misunderstanding or a calculated clash of titans? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Peace.